Hey y'all, we are back with another live video. Still got lipstick on my teeth. This lip gloss is like really like sticky. But yes, y'all, we are back with another live starting up at 6:30. We got another minute or so. So if you're logging in, be sure to drop down in my comments. Let me know where you're from. If you have any questions, drop down in the comments as well. Definitely want to interact with you. But today we are talking about changing your mindsets and how I changed my mindset because I'm a pretty like black and white person. I'm very, very practical. I like for things to make sense. So it took a minute for me to kind of get out of that because everything's not going to make sense all the time. So, it is 2022. We got a few weeks left in the month, y'all. Can y'all believe, or in the year, can y'all believe it? 2023 is sneaking up on us. And I want to talk about changing your mindset. Like, you don't wait till January 1st to do that. You want to do that now. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today is changing your mindset. Just giving you five, let me see how many steps. I got 5 simple steps written down. And then I'm going to talk about my experience with changing my mindset as well. So, and then I want to know, like, have you had issues in this area? Are you somebody who was, really restricted in their thinking, like myself? What are some tips? So, what are some areas that you're really struggling in? I definitely want to know. So, make sure you like the comments up and share this as well. So, well, before I get started, y'all, we are at 898 subscribers. So we just need 2 more people to come to the front of the congregation and then we can all go home. So definitely make sure you subscribe to my channel and share it with someone who will help. Thank y'all to everybody who has done that already. I greatly appreciate your support. It encourages me, definitely gives me fuel to keep making videos and starting a new venture, y'all. I'm going live. I'll be going live once or twice a week. I definitely want to start incorporating lives to interact with my folks out there just in a new way. In addition, I also will be doing a live on Saturday. So this Saturday, I am having a vision board party. And I'll be doing shorts and stuff throughout that day, but I'll be going live. Everybody has to choose a color and then they have to bring food that's that color. Y'all seen those parties online. So I chose pink. So I'm gonna do a cute little pink glittery makeup look. So that'll be my first like makeup live. I do my makeup shorts and y'all really like those. So shout out to all of the likes on those. But I'm gonna do a live with that. Y'all know I love makeup, so y'all I have makeup for days. But definitely be sure to tune into that. That'll be like around this time on Saturday as well, this Saturday. So I'm excited to see y'all again. But yeah, y'all, today we are talking about how to change your mindset. It's something that like it's easier said than done, right? Because a lot of people say that, oh, you just need to change your thinking. But when you've been set in your ways for so long, the old vestige, you can't teach a dog, or you can't teach an old dog new tricks or something like that. You get so stuck in your ways that it's hard to pivot. And as somebody who has been an educator for some time now, things are always changing. You got to be able to be flexible. This law means this one day, then it means this the next day. So I've always had to be flexible there. But like in my personal life, like was one of the two. Which one do you want? So me changing my mindset really started with my debt-free journey that started in September 2020. I wanted something different. Like I wanted freedom. I wanted to feel like I was really in control, mainly over my money. Because I was in control of everything else, but not over my money. But my debt-free journey is what really helped me to just open my mind, to think about things that I hadn't thought about, to really, ask myself, could you be doing this a different way? Or could there be more information here that you're missing? That's really what kind of sparked this whole thing. But like I said, like before that, it was real black and white to me. Even though I didn't like explicitly say these things to myself, like, oh, you'll never be able to do that, Dugan, or that's not gonna happen. Like, I didn't explicitly say that, but it was like subconsciously in the forefront of my mind, right? So sometimes we don't have to say things, but you're thinking it. And your thoughts or are what really, set up your actions. So in changing your mindset, y'all, and I'm gonna be looking at my notes because I wrote some notes down. The first step for me, and I'm gonna give 5 steps, but the first step for me was to educate myself. So in particular, so I'll be talking a lot about changing my mindset around money. So in particular, like education, like I'm an educator. I was a special education teacher for 5 years. I worked in vocal rehab, and then now I'm a director of student disability services. So education is my thing, right? Like I love to learn, I love to read. I've always loved to read. I've been a student for so long now. This has really been like a 10-year journey. I actually graduated, or coming up on 10 years. I graduated from undergrad 9 years ago on the 13th. So it has been a journey. And I say that to say, like, education has always been a really, really, really big part of my life. And me giving education, me loving to educate others, but and then educating myself as well, but not in like certain areas. Like I had never read a book about money before. Hadn't even watched a video about money either, like now that I think about it. But educating myself is what really, really started me just on the right foot with my debt-free journey and with opening my mind. So with anything that you're trying to change your mindset about, you gotta educate yourself. Like you gotta read a book. There's something about reading a book, flipping through the pages, or listening to an audiobook. One of those two. There's something about that that's different than a video, that's different than somebody just in your face telling you about it. Like a book has power. Like those words have power. So you got to pick up a book or an audiobook and really listen to, whatever topic that you want to be educated on. And don't just take on one book. I would say read at least 3 books from 3 different people regarding a topic that you need to really change your thought process about. So for me, it was money. So I read Dave Ramsey, I read Susie Orman, and then I also read Larry Burkett. So those were the 3 authors that I chose to learn more about money. And in each of those books, it was all surrounding the same thing. They're very similar. Ramsey, Susie, and Larry Burkett, like they're all very similar, but in each thing I learned something different. So it's important to pick up a book, and I'm not saying it has to be like a whole long drawn out thing. Pick up something that's easy for you to read. Like the education needs to meet your needs, because sometimes, you hear people talking about stuff and you're just like, what? Like it needs to be something that you can digest, that you can understand, that you can ask questions about, that you can go and research. And that's what I did for myself to help me to change my mindset around money. I got some books and I read them. The first book I actually bought, that was the Total Money Makeover. I bought that. But the other two, and the Larry Burkett book I bought as well. But Susie Orman, I got it from the library. So sometimes I think like people forget like about the library, y'all. The library is just a wonderful, wonderful resource that has a lot of free things, and a lot of times they'll have classes there as well. So, I understand, if you don't want to go out and buy something because maybe, it's too much, or you just don't want to buy it. Go to the library. The library is free. Get you a library card and rent that thing. And then even if they don't have the book near you, they can use the interlibrary loan process to get the book to you. So educate yourself. And then think about like, what does education look like for you? So for me, what changed my mindset, I got it from a book. But maybe you need to take a class. And I caution folks about this. Like, don't just take a class from anybody. Like, I'm a teacher. Like, teaching is in my blood. I'm certified as a teacher. I went through a whole intensive 4-year program to be a teacher. So I know how to teach. I can teach something and hit everybody in the room, right? And then I was a special education teacher, so I know how to meet everybody's learning style. But take a course from somebody who is actually a teacher, Not somebody who's just dressed all flashy and trying to get your money, because you know that's a popular thing right now. Everybody doing classes. Everybody should not be doing classes. Everybody's not a teacher. So make sure you know that you check the person's pedigree. You know, like do you have a degree in teaching, or have you been doing this for long enough that I could really trust what you're saying, or is this something that you just started like a month ago and you trying to get some easy money? So make sure you know that people aren't just taking your money. But maybe you need to take a class. Maybe you just need to go and listen to someone who you can obviously see that they are doing the right things, to kind of educate yourself as well. But education is power. Education is key. That's really the first step when you are really trying to change your mindset. You have to be educated. Like without education, as you know, in our country, education is like the main thing for folks to be successful. And it's not even about money, it's more about personal growth, right? Because you don't have to make a whole lot of money to be educated. But it's about the personal growth for yourself and taking that serious and prioritizing what it is that you want to learn. So, first things first, educate yourself. Number two, surround yourself with like-minded folks, y'all. And changing your mindset, the first thing was educate yourself. The second thing is surround yourself with like-minded people. So if you are trying to learn more about how to save money, you're trying to learn more about how to, let's say, invest money, you're going to hang around with people who are doing that. You're not going to hang around with the willy-nilly spenders. You're not going to hang around, the people who are doing the get rich quick schemes. No, you're going to hang around people who are actually doing that. So it's important for you to, look at your friend group. Are they doing the things that you want to do? I used to always tell students that, like, you hanging with the jokesters, but you're talking to me about how you want to be more focused and you want to increase your grade, but your friend group is not looking like that. You got to hang with like-minded people, to really reach your goals. And one of the good things about doing that is they are encouragers, right? So they know what to do. They can encourage you. They can tell you what to do. And then they can just, kind of remind you, hold you accountable in those areas where you lack. So that's a good thing about hanging around folks who you want to be like. You may not be there just yet, which is okay, but being in the presence of those people, picking their brains for information, looking at the people who they hang around, building those connections, that is a good way to really change your mindset as well. You have to, and that's a good thing about college. So I work at a university, and the point of college is really to be around people who are not like you, to build those experiences that you wouldn't have had if you wouldn't, have had the opportunity to meet that person. So you want to make sure that you are really, challenging yourself there. Because I know for me, y'all, I'm an introvert. Like, I like what I like. I only have, like those select people at times, but it's important for us to really open our minds there as well and hang out with people who, maybe you wouldn't typically hang out with them, but they're where you want to be. I know that's scary. But get back to the old fashioned days. Hey, I noticed that, you were good at so and so, so and so. I'm trying to, do that as well. Would it be okay if we have lunch, or if we just talk? That's like the first step. So challenge yourself in like your friend group area. And then you may have to really just evaluate your friend group area as well. So like, are these people like actually following through with what they say they want to do, or are we all just slacking off? Like we all can't be slacking off. Several of us have to be working towards our goals. So really look at the people who you're hanging around. Are they, like-minded people? Are they going to places that you want to go? Are they looking at new, innovative ideas or ways to do things? Okay, then that might be the crowd for you. But if it's not syncing up, that's going to really keep you restricted in your thinking. So surround yourself with like-minded folks. My number three is put blinders on. So like you should just be able to really zone in on what it is that you want to do. And I see 2 folks watching, so y'all drop down in the comments and let me know where you're from. Let me make sure I can see my comments. Okay, I can. But put blinders on. So I know for me, y'all, a big thing about changing my mindset around money was for me to really put blinders on and not be, and not have the FOMO, fear of missing out. Because that was really hard for me just in the beginning. I remember when I started, it was September 2020. And months before that, I had already planned to upgrade my phone. As soon as that iPhone came out, I was gonna be on the site making sure that I got it. And I remember, like, once I got serious about it, I was like, man, I can't do it. Like, because I would go back into debt to do it. So I really had to put blinders on and not look at, all these ads, everybody else getting the phone. I had to remember what my goal was. And that's a part of changing your mindset too. You have to put blinders on to remember what your goal is, because it's easy to get distracted when you're looking this way, that way, up, down, all these things happening. You really have to focus and remember, why am I doing this? And make sure that your why is something that's necessarily not materialistic. So freedom is not materialistic. The ability to have a choice, it's something that's really like greater than the ability to change your legacy. These are all things that require a shift in your mindset. But you got to be focused. So, if you're not focused, it's going to be easy for you to not even be worried about, what it is that you're supposed to be doing. So that is definitely my number 3, is putting on blinders, remembering, why you're doing this. I know me, I think back to when I was in my master's degree program. So I have a master's degree in counselor education. So, and then it's a focus in vocational rehab and mental health counseling. So I remember at that time, I got my master's degree from 2016 to 2019, so about 2.5 years. And one of the things for me, y'all, was that it was a lot. It was hard. I was working full time. I had moved to a new city, so that's first. I had moved to a new city, my first time like living outside of my city. I did not know anybody. I moved to Miami, Florida. I did not know anybody. It was a rough transition in the beginning, but that's a whole nother video. Maybe I'll tell y'all about that. But it was a rough transition just with my new job, and then just being in like a new city as well. And then I was going to school full time. So, and it was in person. So this was previous to all that online stuff. All my classes were, I would say like 90% of my classes were in person. So I was working full time, and at that time, I was working in a classroom for students on the spectrum, and they were from 5th to 8th grade. So I always work with middle school, but they were from 5th to 8th grade, and we were in the same classroom like all day. And I taught all subjects. So I had that. And then, in addition to, like I said, I was going to school full time, meaning that I would get off work at like 3-ish. And then I would go to like the opposite side of town in Miami traffic. Oh my gosh, that was a mess. To go to class. Class started at like 4:30. I used to eat dinner at 4:30, and then I'd be in class till like 7:30. Go home, do homework, read. My cutoff was 10 o'clock, and then I'd get up and do it again. And it was hard. And I remember thinking, like, I gotta stay focused. Like, I got to stay focused. Hey, Alexis, my name twin. Okay, I see you from Mississippi. Thanks for joining me today. And be sure y'all make sure to subscribe, y'all. I'm at 898. We need 2 more people to come to the front of the congregation. Get me to 900, road to 1K. But thank you for joining. I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I would come home. My cutoff was 10 o'clock. I would study and read until that point. And at 10 o'clock, I went to bed, and I got up and did it all over again the next day. And I just remember how hard that was. But I remember like how focused I was. I remember the reason why I moved there. It wasn't to come to Miami, to party and be on South Beach. No, it was to get my master's degree and leave with my master's degree in one piece. So, and I remember like how bad I wanted it. Like nothing death was gonna keep me from it. Remember that from The Color Purple? But yeah, nothing was gonna keep me from it, y'all. I was just like, no, I'm going. I know what I moved here for. No matter how hard this gets, no matter how tough this gets, I am going to finish. And I finished successfully. I met a lot of cool people. I did a lot of cool things, and it wasn't. And now that I look back on it, like, would I do it again? Yeah, I would. But it was because I had blinders on. I was not distracted. I made sure to do um, what I needed to do, and that really helped me to reach that goal. So, in the quest of changing your mindset, stay focused no matter what's happening, dust yourself off, and keep going. So my number 4 tip to changing your mindset. So in case you came in late, number 4 was educate yourself. Number 2 was surround yourself with like-minded people. Number 3 was put blinders on. So number 4, you need a new environment. So when you're changing your mindset, you can't stay in the same environment. You got to switch things up. Whether that's like, moving to somewhere different. So when I got my master's degree, that was my first time that I moved. I'm out of my city, and I was still in the same state, but I was about, Miami's about 5 hours away from Jack. So yeah, I was about 5.5 hours away from home. Um, so, and I say that to say, like, I know some people like are very, passionate about where they live at, but you gotta get out of your city. Some people gotta get out of their state. Y'all know I live in a whole nother state now. But you really gotta change your environment. So whether that is your work environment, your living environment, just your overall physical environment, in order to change your mindset, you gotta create new experiences. So being around people, who I had never been around from all different types of cultures, places, and things, those experiences helped to make me just a little more flexible in my thinking. It helped me to think outside of the box. But that was because I lived outside of my environment. When you're just in your city, that's all you know. You know your favorite food places. You know your friend is right down the street. Your shopping places, your getaway places. But in the new environment, you got to find those things. You got to go out and meet people. You got to talk to people. You got to ask questions. And those are those experiences that really change the way you think. I know one thing that I always like think about because I come from a military town. And one thing I like about like military folks is that they've been like all over the world, and you can tell just by like the way they act, by the way they interact with other folks. And that was something that was always just like very attractive to me. Are people who have came outside of the box, left the fear behind, and really, went and saw what else was out there. So I know it's hard to change your environment as somebody who has left their city and then left their state. But it's necessary. Like, it's necessary for growth. It's not the easiest thing. I remember when I moved out of my city, and previous to that, like, me and my best friend had been roommates since we got out of college. So like what I couldn't do, she could, and vice versa. Things just like fixing stuff, doing my hair, us going places. But when I moved, like, I had to learn how to do all those things. I remember when I moved from my city to Miami, like, that's when I learned how to do my own hair. Because before that, I didn't know, because I had somebody to help me to do it. So, it's those little things like that that really help you to open up the way you're thinking, that encourage you to try new experiences, because changing your mindset is really about new experiences. And the main way to do that is to go and make them. So maybe, you want to get your feet wet first. Maybe you want to just, my lip gloss. Maybe you just want to kind of visit a new place. So I understand that some people just aren't ready to move. It does cost a lot of money. But go visit a place. Go visit a place that you think that you would like to live. Really see what it's about. Talk to the people. Go to a restaurant. Talk to the people. Talk to the natives. See what it's about. See what it would feel like to go somewhere, by yourself, and not know anybody, and have to, really jumpstart those conversations. It's scary. I'll be the first one to tell you it's scary, especially I'm a very introverted person. I'm not a big talker. But it has really, helped me to just learn more about myself, learn more about other people, learn how to better interact with other people. So change your environment. Shake it up. We all got to do something different someday. And I think another helpful tip is, looking for people who are, willing to do those same things. So is it somebody else who maybe moved to that city that you want to move to? I remember before I moved to my new state, somebody else that I knew had just moved, and I reached out to him to ask like about the area and stuff. So, people moving all the time. Ask those questions to those people. And then y'all, so that was, you need a new environment. Change your mindset. You got to get a new environment. Number 5. So my last one is evaluate how you're looking at things. Are you looking at things half empty or half full? So I know for me, I could be like a little pessimist. Like before my big mind shift change, I could be very pessimistic, y'all. Like that ain't gonna happen. I ain't gonna never be able to do that. I ain't gonna even think about it. I ain't gonna even try. Especially like I suck at math and I was always very pessimistic like that with math. And guess what? I continued to suck at it because it was my mindset. Like you have to believe that you can. You gotta speak that you can. You gotta think that you can. It starts in your mind. So start thinking those thoughts like, yeah, I can do that. Like, yeah, I can go visit another city. Yeah, I can go to a new job. Yeah, I can go get some education. Yeah, I can change my friend group. But you really have to evaluate the way you're looking at it. Because if you think you can't do it, then you ain't going to do it. I know that's how, I was with like several things. Once I get that in my head, I'm like, I'm done. It ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry. So, really evaluate the way that you're looking at things. Is it just that this is hard? Okay, I recognize that this is hard. I recognize that I'm not the best in this area. So let me take a deep breath. Let me take a deep breath and get myself together. Yeah, I can do this. Maybe I need to break it up in parts. Okay, I can't do it all at once. That would be unrealistic. But maybe if I break it down over, the course of a few days, maybe, I can do it. It's kind of like the little train that could. I think I can. I think I can. So if you think you can, that's the first step. You got to think that you can. But if you're always being pessimistic, that's not for me, or that type of stuff is just not for me, why isn't it? Have you ever asked yourself that? Why isn't like why did I always think that being good in math was just not for me? That's not true. So and then that goes back to what have people told you or what have you told yourself? Because like I said earlier, like I didn't explicitly tell myself certain things, but I thought them in my head. Like they may not have came out of my mouth, but it was in my head. So and then what's in your head comes out of your mouth. So a man thinketh, so is he. I believe that's how that goes. So we gotta check our thoughts. Like sometimes we gotta do a mind check. Like you being negative right now. You being negative Nancy. Stop it. Nobody wants to be around a negative Nancy. So just remember those things, y'all. Evaluate your mindset. Don't forget, I see people logging in. Drop it in the comments and let me know where you're from. But yeah, y'all, those are my top 5. So here are my top 5. I'll go over it again with changing your mindset. Number 1, educate yourself. Number 2, surround yourself with like-minded folks. Number 3, put blinders on. You got to stay focused. Number 4, you need a new environment. And then my last one, number 5, evaluate how you're looking at things. Is it half empty? Is it half full? Can you do this? Like, yeah, you can. You can do it. if you need some help, ask for some help, right? But yeah, y'all, that is my top tips for changing your mindset. Like I said, I'm going to be going live a little more throughout the week. I definitely appreciate y'all's support. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe to my channel, y'all. We need those 2 more people to the congregation. And I'm going to be back Saturday with a live, y'all. I'm going to be doing a makeup look. And I'll probably be talking too, because I always talk to myself anyway while I do my makeup. But I'll be talking with you this time, y'all. So thank y'all for joining me. I'm so happy y'all are here. And I'll see you next time. Bye.